Good morning everyone. So this week for PE, what we're going to do, because it's the first week of Ramadan and it's the last week of the month, we're going to do a few games this week, a bit of a games week. Okay, so maybe not every single lesson, but some lessons will have a few games. The games might involve some exercise, or they might just be, like today, a fun game you can try and do at home anytime you would like. Okay, so for today, as you can see there, I've got water bottles. All you need is, I've got 10 water bottles. You could use Coke bottles, little Coke cans, wash them out, anything like that. And then a small ball or a toilet roll, okay? Because today, what we're going to be doing is indoor bowling, all right? So once you've got those items, you want to get a pen and paper or a whiteboard and a pen. And you want to sort your board out like this. Now this game you could do on your own, but it's probably a little bit more fun if you've got someone else to play with. It could be you and someone else, it could be you and 2 others, 3 others, you can have 4, it doesn't matter, okay? The more people, probably a little bit more fun it is, but you can do it on your own as well. So all you're going to do is put one person's name here, other person's name there, or if there's more of you, spread out the names across the board, okay? And then your number 1 to 10 down the sides and total at the bottom. So each person is going to have 10 chances to knock over the bottles, okay? After each turn, write down your score. Then the next person would have their turn, write down their score. Then we go to turn number 2. That might be Mr. Shovelton's turn. And then turn 2 for Mr. Shale, who you'll see in a bit, would have their turn. And after you've both had 10, or all 4 of you have had 10, fill in your totals at the bottom. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick example of what to do, but hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so got a bottle set up. One rule is you've got to make sure when you're bowling the ball rolls on the floor. It's not a throw down, it's not a bouncing ball. The ball has to roll on the floor, okay? So I get a point for each bottle that I knock down. So if I knock down 5 bottles, I get 5 points. I put the bottles back where they're meant to be, write down my score. Next person's turn, okay? So Mr. Shovelton first. Only got the 1 bottle, so I pick up that bottle, put it back, get my ball back, okay? So Mr. Shovelton, let's write my score down before I forget. Mr. Shovelton, first turn, score of 1, okay? Now ready for Mr. Shale. Let's go find Mr. Shale. Here he is, Mr. Shale's here with his hat on. And Mr. Shale is going to use the toilet roll, okay? So same thing, has to be a roll, okay? Can't be a throw. See how many bottles Mr. Shale can get. Let's have a look. Ah, it's a big one. It's a big one, look at that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles. Okay, now Mr. Shale would fix those bottles, and then Mr. Shovelton's back in the room, and then write his score down there, okay? And then it'd be turn number 2. Now, just for example, to save me fixing the bottles and showing you over and over again, let's say turn number 2, Mr. Shovelton this time scored 6. And turn number 2, Mr. Shale scored 2. Turn number 3, let's say Mr. Shovelton got all of them down, he got a strike, gets 10, and then let's say Mr. Shale got a score of 3, okay? You would do that, so you've had 10 turns each, add up your scores to get your total to see who the winner is. So for example, 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 10, Mr. Shovelton, score of 17. Mr. Shale, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 3, 11, sorry. Plus 3 is 14. That's a very poor 4. But as you can see, Mr. Shovelton would be the winner. Okay? Okay. Hope you have fun, guys. Send us in your picture videos of you playing the game. Take care. Bye-bye.